The place, St. John Arena, on the campus of Ohio State University in Columbus, Ohio. It's the Division I Boys State Championship battle as the Spartans of Lima Senior, 21-5 on the year, tangle with the T-Birds of Westchester, Lakota. They're into St. John at 23-4 on the 91-92 campaign. Hi again, everybody. I'm Michael Regai. Pleased that you're a part of this. Everybody around here is fired up. It has been much anticipated, eagerly awaited, and it's on go in just a couple of minutes. Two of the best ball clubs in the big schools in the state of Ohio. Good to have you with us. My colleague, Luke Whitty, the 7-footer from Ohio State, right here back home at St. John. Luke, not much more we could say when we talk about eagerly anticipated. Lima Senior with Mr. Basketball, Greg Simpson. We'll talk about how he electrified this place yesterday in the semis, but the Spartans are more than just a one-dimensional ball club, according to head coach Paul Whitney.
Well, Paul Whitney really is in tune to what the rest of his team can do because they have a nice supporting cast around Simpson. Simpson is not the only one. And when they can go to other people, when other people can pick up the tempo, they're going to be in much better shape. We have a situation where Lakota has beaten them twice during the season. They're going to need that supporting class to come through for Lima Senior to win this basketball game this afternoon.
Luke mentioned Lakota beating Lima Senior twice this season. Both these ball clubs play in the same conference, the Greater Miami Conference. So conference pride certainly at stake here. If you're Mike Mueller in Westchester, Lakota, you've been here. You play in the Division I state title game a year ago, lost a heartbreaker in overtime to Cleveland St. Joe's. Does that give you a little bit of an edge, Luke?
Well, it gives you an edge because the St. John Arena is a much more different atmosphere than any other place that they'll play in the state of Ohio. The way the crowd sits in the arena, the way the crowd is right down on you. You have the backdrop is much different than any other high school gym that you'll play in. So the setting with them already having been here, Lakota has a great upmanship on Lima Senior because they were here last year.
He's Mr. Basketball. He's Greg Simpson. He is electrifying. He is a high-wire performer. Had 34 in here yesterday. Luke, you can throw out about every attribute you want about this guy. He's simply the best in the state.
Well, two-time Mr. Basketball in Ohio. I just can't see that anybody here is not anticipating a great game out of him. I am anticipating. I'm ready to see it go.
Westchester, Lakota. Don't underestimate him. Keith Greger, 6'7", played on that great front line last year with J.B. Reefsnyder and Steve Belter. They're both played college basketball. Greger is a man, tough, and ready to accept any challenge.
Well, Greger can do a lot of different things, and he has the potential to score 30, 40 points any given night. So this could be a great matchup, and it has been proven to be a great match in the two previous games this season. And again, we have to say Greger can come in here, score a lot of points, do a lot of damage to Lima Senior. So again, I have to say this game is up for grabs.
Yeah, and a state championship is hanging in the balance. The hardware goes to either Lima Senior or Westchester, Lakota. Don't you go away. We're going to get to the opening lineups and tip it off next on Sports Channel. Division I state championship game coming at you in just a moment out of St. John in Columbus.
Just a reminder that kids who participate in high school sports tend to go a little farther than those who don't.
Set a goal, and then set another goal.
If you can't conceive it in your mind, you can't achieve it.
My goal, if I'm a D student, is to get up to a C. And when I get to a C, now I want a B. Set a goal for yourself. Stay in school.
It is alive and electric. St. John Arena in Columbus, Ohio, eagerly awaiting Westchester, Lakota, and Lima Senior to tip it off. Let's join PA announcer John Keefe on the floor of St. John.
Introducing the members of the team. For Lima Senior, number 43, Raheem Slade. For Lakota, number 44, Jason Lindell. For Lima Senior, number 24, Joe Hutchins. For Lakota, number 40, John Haywood. For the Spartans, number 34, Chad Nell. For the Thunderbirds, number 20, Mike Money. For Lima Senior, number 22, Brian Miller. For Lakota, number 22, Kurt Moeller. For Lima Senior, number 15, Eric Watkins. For Lakota, number 34, Milos Drobniak. For the Spartans, number 45, Terry Simpson. For the Thunderbirds, number 21, Ross Matthews. Lima Senior, number 14, Rico Glenn. For Lakota, number 24, Dan Dudukovic. Now your starting lineup. Starting at guard for Lima, number 3, 6'1" senior, Greg Simpson. Starting at guard for Lakota, number 4, 6'3" senior, Scott Mueller. At guard for Lima Senior, number 5, 6' senior, Lawndale Thomas. At guard for Lakota, number 32, 6' senior, Brad Evans. For the Spartans, center number 13, 6' junior, Damon Lyle. For the Thunderbirds, number 33, 5'10" senior, Mark Riggle. At forward for Lima Senior, number 33, 6'3" senior, Michael Brown. At forward for Lakota, number 31, 6'5" senior, Keith Greger. At forward for Lima Senior, number 35, 6'3" senior, Larry Chambers. At forward for Lakota, number 42, 6'3" sophomore, Lamont Smith.
That's a good look at Paul Whitney in his third year at Lima Senior, 48 wins as opposed to 21 on the downside, and what great friends he is with the head coach of the T-Birds of Westchester, Lakota, Mr. Mike Mueller. 6th year, 83 and 59. He also, like we talked about Mike Moran earlier, Luke, in this coaching matchup, greatly respected by his coaching peers in this state.
Well, they're greatly respected, and they also took a long road to get here. Big wins against Firestone for Lakota, 63-71, and Lima, the thriller, two-time overtime against Canton McKinley, which was probably or will go down in one of the greatest basketball games in Ohio high school tournament. The matchups, both teams are not in the situation of declaring even a center. They're going to go with 3 guards and 2 forwards. Of course, the key matchup down at the bottom, Simpson and Riggle. And, of course, you have Greger and Brown up at the front end. This is going to be a great one.
I called it eagerly anticipated. It is that. Lima Senior, 3-time semifinalist. First appearance in the finals. Lakota, second time. About 365 days ago, as a matter of fact. Lost to Villa Angela St. Joe in the big school final 1 year ago. Lima's in their scarlet trimmed in the gray. Lakota is in their white trimmed, also in the red and black. Keith Greger in the center circle, along with Larry Chambers. We're set. We're on it. You're on it on Sports Channel for a Division I state championship. This is Damon Lyle. Excellent performer. Runs up that jumper right away and sticks it. Luke, he's so quick, and if you want a guy, forget about being a compliment to Greg Simpson. This young man is a terrific guard in his own right.
Well, the big thing is with Damon Lyle coming in and scoring right off the bat, that takes a little bit of pressure off of Simpson, and he will be able to be open more because of Lyle's activity.
This is Brad Evans. Evans through the paint, thought better of it. Mueller on that low block, being hounded by Simpson. Mueller traveled with it, turnover. Westchester Lakota give it back to Lima Senior.
Lakota taking their time, working the basketball around, trying to find an opening, some light in the tenacious defense of Lima Senior.
Greg Simpson, first missile in the air, kicked out of there. That won't be the last one. That's the first of many, many tonight from Ohio's Mr. Basketball.
Well, Mike, I'm not going to steal your famous line, though, but he never saw a shot he didn't like.
Brad Evans liked that wide open look, got it in rhythm and stuck that jumper baseline left. Evans' first hoop of the night, first two for Lakota. We're tied at a deuce apiece. Along with Luke Whitty, Michael Regai with you courtside St. John on Sports Channel. Big school state title, Lyle, triple try, not there. Look at Evans go high to snatch that board to get the offense back in gear for Westchester, Lakota. Scott Mueller, that's a long home run three. Didn't touch anything iron-wise. Simpson's on the run out. Simpson will pull up and fire. Crawled across that iron, not there. Damon Lyle on the stick back. Yes, you can count it. Send Lyle to the line.
Damon Lyle going inside. Such a presence for the board. Such a presence for the basketball. Here you see it skipping off. Him going up on the second tip, grabbing the basketball, making a big turn inside.
4-2. Damon Lyle with 4 on the board for Lima Senior. He'll look for 5 at the line. He averages 16-6 a contest. Your officials tonight, James Jacobs and Donald Green. Damon Lyle, 5. Lakota's T-Birds, 2. Lyle has come off big early for Paul Whitney. And as I said, don't call him a compliment to Greg Simpson, the highly coveted athlete. Mueller got in trouble baseline. The active hands of Larry Chambers kept it alive, and Lawndale Thomas will pick the pocket of Lamont Smith. Simpson. Go down low on that block. Chambers will go with the left hand and stick it home.
Larry Chambers looking for the basketball. Nice high arc going in the paint.
7-2, Lima Senior by 5, and Mr. Basketball is yet to get on the board. That three will kick out of there, was halfway down the hole for Mark Riggle, but didn't stay home. Simpson pulls it, guns it, not there. Michael Brown ran it down baseline. Last touch by Mark Riggle will stay Lima Senior's way. Mike Mueller, talked about, runs an exceptional program down near the Queen City of Cincinnati at Westchester, Lakota. He's in an early 5-point hole to Lima Senior. On that low block, look at Michael Brown catch it big and want to take it up strong, and he got a Lamont Smith foul.
Michael Brown playing very big inside the paint. Good pass inside. Here you see the precision threading of the needle right inside. A lot of pressure, but 3 men on him. Imagine he managed to get it up on the glass.
Second personal foul rather quickly in about 3:20 in this first quarter of play. Let's make it a 2:20 in this first quarter of play. Excellent look from Michael Brown to Greg Simpson. Simpson snuck baseline, and he's going to go to the line after he got contact and a Lakota foul. Brad Evans got stuck with that foul as Coach Mike Mueller telling his club, settle down, get in your rhythm. Offensively, obviously they're not there yet. And Luke, defensively, they've got to guard all the exits. It's not just Mr. Basketball who you see here at the line.
Yeah, they do. They have to guard every exit there is. And when you're playing a team for the 3rd time in the season, this makes things rather precarious in everything that you do. These teams know each other so well. The coaches know each other so well. They're thinking before they're even their thoughts are even their thoughts before they even do them. The one thing that I find, this is very, very difficult for Lakota because of those 2 victories they had. They are definitely the up-dog, and anything Lima Senior can put together is a positive.
Greg Simpson just went zip for 2 from the line, but this is what I talked about, the athletes. Look at Larry Chambers, knife inside, and hit the putback. Lima Senior on top 9-2 as Chambers has joined Damon Lyle, coming up big early for Paul Whitney. Dan Dukovic is checked in as Scott Mueller just throws it away. Lawndale Thomas, he steps in passing lanes and is so active defensively, Luke. He will have to be a marked man. Obviously, Lakota's got to know where he is on the floor every time they run their offensive set. All Lima Senior early on, 9-2. Damon Lyle rises up. That 3 curled down and then kicked out of there.
Well, we've seen a couple shots that have been down in the hole and have reeled out already.
One for Lyle on Lima Senior. And, of course, Mark Riggle had one halfway down the ring and popped out on him. Riggle, baseline, got cut off. Lawndale Thomas. Greger, so strong. Up on that window, slapped away Dan Dudukovic. Give it back to Lima Senior.
Dudukovic going up high. Needed to get two hands on the ball in that particular situation.
91-88, double overtime, epic thriller over Canton McKinley. Yesterday got Lima Senior here. Lawndale Thomas thinking about it. In the paint. Chambers went to the hole and walked. Turnover Senior. Go Lakota's way.
Dudukovic right there to play the defense on him. Lima Senior playing a little bit of a zone here. Seems to have Lakota playing a little bit of a zone, having Senior a little bit confused about what they wanted to do.
Lima 4-9 from the floor. Lakota 1 for 4. Will Dudukovic raise that percentage? No. Look at that. High up on that glass. The tip wouldn't fall. Simpson, long range tray, missed everything. Lyle. Chambers with a left hand. He traveled. A little sloppy right now on both ball clubs.
Well, Lima Senior's getting the ball inside. I think both teams are a little bit too impatient. They want to get going in this basketball game. They want to do well, obviously. All the cards are on the table. There's no tomorrow.
A little bit of pressure as Mark Riggle breaks that timeline. Ross Matthews, 6'6" junior, wearing number 21 in the contest for Mike Mueller's Lakota T-Birds. So Dudukovic, Greger, and Matthews on that front line. This is Dan Dudukovic running in the paint. Got a great Simpson whack. That'll be Simpson's first. And that'll be the first on Lima Senior as a ball club.
Mike Mueller still not getting too wrapped up about how his team is doing. He says, let's just settle down. Let's do the things we know how to do. What got us in this situation in the first place is playing very patient basketball.
Brad Evans back in the contest, replacing Scott Mueller, son of head coach Mike. Danny Dudukovic, the strike for Lakota. Two teams met twice this year in the Greater Miami. Lakota rung up a 6-point win the first time, beat Lima Senior by 5 the next time they matched. Dudukovic drains both from the stripe. First two of the board on the board tonight for Dudukovic. 9-4. Lakota slice that deficit down to 5. Simpson goes glass, kicked out of there. Greg Simpson now 0 for 5. That was halfway down and popped out.
Well, you can't get any deeper than that. Greg Simpson still not finding the range. We talked about the first two games, 47 points each time for Greg Simpson.
He lit it up both times in losing efforts. Keith Greger's run through the hole wouldn't go. And right back the other way is Damon Lyle again, hitting nothing but twine on his 3. So Lyle is really off early, Luke.
Damon Lyle came in here with 999 career points, so he is obviously over the big 1,000 mark.
6-foot junior. Terrific talent. There he is, Damon Lyle. Stepping over the sideline and turning the basketball over, Brad Evans of Westchester, Lakota. Turnovers are hurting Lakota early on, not being able to get in their offensive sets. They're down 8, and Simpson is 0 for 5 from the floor. Lawndale Thomas will hang, squeeze the trigger, and coax home that jumper.
Lima Senior picking up a little bit of a press here, just a man-to-man, trying to give a little bit of pressure to Lakota. Get them out of sync a little bit further if they can.
14-4, Lima Senior Spartans by 10. Dudukovic put it on the deck, had it rejected. Lima's active presence defensively as Lawndale Thomas will start across that timeline. Lyle, that's an open tray. You can count that. Young man is showing you his range. He is on fire early on. Damon Lyles accepting the congratulations from his Lima Senior Spartan teammates. Lyles has lit this place up for 11 in the first 6 minutes.
Damon Lyles started that whole thing with a back block, coming up over the back of Dudukovic, going in the middle, got the block shot, came down, and ended up with the bucket.
Mike Mueller finding himself down 13, needed a TO and got it right now. I would say we give you a look geographically at where both these ball clubs hail from around the state of Ohio. Right up I-75, Luke Whitty. On 75, it runs from Toledo down through Cincinnati, in our state anyway, and Lima sits proudly right on I-75.
Well, we all know where that is, especially you and I. We run that 75 quite a bit during the winter time.
We certainly do.
Enrollment of 684 boys, and Mitchell Black is the principal, Wayne Brown, the athletic director, and their 4th tournament appearance. Lakota sitting down just in the corner of the state near Cincinnati, 917 boys rather. Greg Utterly is the principal and Stuart Eversole is the athletic director. And their second appearance, as we said, last year, a little bit later in the day. We sat here till about 11:30 that night and did that game, I believe.
They enjoyed it all, absolutely. Again, Lakota having problems down 13 at 17-4. Damon Lyles is just going to get hit for his first personal foul. So Lyles, you saw the numbers, 4 out of 6 from the floor in the first 6 minutes. Hit 2 triple times for his 11 points. 17-4. Lima Senior stunning the Lakota backers early. Greger, got to get off for this club. Leans, stick back his own miss. First 2 of the night for Keith Greger.
Well, Keith Greger is so strong. Even though he missed that first shot, he has such a tenacious ability to get in there and go up strong, getting inside, returning his own bucket.
Greg Simpson, excellent dump. He felt the presence, got it to Larry Chambers. Chambers finished it off. He has 6, third field goal of the evening for Larry Chambers, 19-6. Lima Senior by 13. To Dukovic. Riggle. Wanted to show the basketball on an up fake. He shuffled his feet. Another turnover on Lakota. Brad Evans back. Dan Dukovic down for that man, Mike Mueller. Never panics. System doesn't teach it that way. Yet, obviously, right now, Luke, offense is what they need. Better sets, better rhythm.
They need a better rhythm, and they need to cut down their turnovers. They can really plague a team, especially early on in a situation like this, especially...
Oh, Damon Lyles is on fire.
He is definitely on fire. If you went outside and told somebody that Lima Senior's up 22-6 over Lakota, you would probably figure that Greg Simpson probably had about 20 points.
Great.
No, this is what we talked about, the supporting cast.
Take it away. Offensive foul on Keith Greger as he tried to get something started on the baseline. Watch him.
There you see Greger going a big step, going in nice and strong.
Michael Brown.
Right there.
We're squared up and planted. Greger hits with the offensive foul. Damon Lyle with a 14-point first quarter for Paul Witt. These Lima Senior Spartans. 22-6 Lima Senior. And they will hold for one as you see that game clock in set lower right of your screen. Greg Simpson without a point. 0 for 5 from the floor. But Damon Lyles has come up so very, very huge in this first quarter. Simpson with 5. Greg Simpson. Lawndale Thomas and Damon Lyles will throw it up. Lyles at the buzzer, but he had a terrific first quarter. The first 8 minutes belong to that man, Damon Lyles, and Lima Senior. 22-6. They're up 16 on right now a stunned Westchester Lakota club. Don't go away. We'll get you back to St. John after this word from your local cable carriers.
Gold Nissan has the hottest cars and trucks on the market today. There's no reason to shop anywhere else. Private owns achievable $199 a month with a smart lease. The Pontiac Grand Am 2-door coupe, just $12,279. The Nissan 4x2 pickup starting at $72,19. Or lease a Cadillac sedan DeVille for $499 a month. Lima Cadillac Pontiac Olds Nissan, 2100 North Cable Road. There's no reason to shop anywhere else.
How hard would you have to push to get a day's worth of errands done in 20 minutes? Not very. The smartphone, coming soon from Huntington Bank and AT&T. Huntington Banks, a smarter way to bank.
Toughest ticket in town. Sold out and then some. St. John Arena in Columbus. Division I Boys State Large School Championship at stake. All Lima Senior in the first 8 minutes. 22-6. Damon Lyles lit this place up for 14 quick ones. 3 triples involved in it. Spinning inside, Scott Mueller. Excellent look in rhythm, and he drained it. So Mueller gets on the board the first time tonight. 22-8. We'll see now as Lyles again rises up for 3 and bottoms it out right now.
Mike, in the first game against Lima Senior had against Lakota, Damon Lyles only had 4 points. The second game, he had 11 points. He has 17 already.
Excellent pass. Lamont Smith will finish. How about the Keith Greger pass? Excellent off that low block.
Keith Greger has good perception, seeing the open man on the other side of the block.
Well, now, if you're Westchester Lakota, you just cannot let Damon Lyles have wide-open looks from 9 feet plus.
Oh, they've got to put pressure on him, and they have to continue that pressure.
He's got another one in the air. Sticks it again. Luke, they cannot allow him to have open looks like that.
Mike Mueller is absolutely furious. He needs to have somebody put pressure on Lyles. Lyles cannot be left open. He is too much of a threat. And a big steal. That's it.
Look out. Thunders at home with 2 hands. That may get Greg Simpson off. His first time in the book tonight. Took him a quarter plus. 30-10. Lima Senior by 20. Lakota shell shot. Edwards had it rejected. Wiggle rather going baseline. Had it rejected, but got the foul in the paint from Larry Chambers.
Here you see the big steal. Now watch this. Watch this little flip he does to himself. Whoop. It's mine. He's coming down the floor, limping slightly, though. A little bit of a limp. And I think he's going to be going out of the game.
Terry Simpson's going to check in for Greg Simpson. Greg going to stay? Maybe not.
Yeah, Greg stays.
For Larry Chambers. So Larry Chambers, the 6'3" senior, who's come up big himself in his first quarter plus, will take a seat. Mark Riggle at the stripe to our left. Going to go twice. Hits his first. There's Riggle, the 5'10" senior. 10.6 boards. Big cog in that win over Akron Firestone yesterday. 30-12. As Damon Lyles has thrown 20 through the cords. Excellent back pant, Lyles. Damon O'Hang couldn't finish that. Rico Glenn gave Lyles an excellent pass as he was flashing baseline. Lamont Smith, good up fake, and got it down. Got Michael Brown in the air and bottomed it out. 30-14.
Lamont Smith, really good presence, knowing where the defensive pressure is coming from, going to the other side of the hole for the hoop.
Simpson sticks that 18-foot jumper. Now let's see if they're going to score it. We had a whistle underneath.
We've got a score and Terry Simpson with a foul underneath.
So count the Greg Simpson hoop. As I said, maybe the jam, the thunder jam, got him off.
Here he goes up for the hoop. We won't be able to see the contact underneath the hoop that was called.
Simpson with 4, 32-14. Greger had it rejected by Michael Brown, but Brown got a piece of Greger. Keats going to the line.
Greger is really working inside the paint as best as he possibly can. There's a lot of contact in there. It's a lot of pressure. Anytime you get in Division I basketball, you're going to see a lot of contact, a lot of free play.
Bigger bodies, and they play bigger and tougher.
You're exactly right, Mike.
Keith Greger very upset with himself that he is not able to connect from that line. He's 83%. You see his numbers. Division I All-Ohioan.
Now, Lakota's going to have to take advantage of the foul shooting. They shot 32 and 33 foul shots in the first 2 contacts in the first 2 games that they have played. Lima Senior only shot 14 and 24 foul shots.
Rico Glenn threw it away. Dan Dudukovic takes it to the rack and will lay it down. 32-17. Here comes Lakota on a bit of a mini burst. They've cut this lead back down to 15. Simpson wheeling, hanging, and finishing.
Well, Mike, you're right about that big dunk. That got Simpson going a little bit.
Off.
Yep, got him off the mark.
had missed his first 5. Now counting the jam, he's hit 3 straight. Dan Dukovic, Rainbow Tray didn't fall. Dukovic got his own. Luke, I've seen a lot of basketball, but I'm not sure I've seen it that way before.
What happened was with the spring-loaded rim, he hung on the rim a little bit, and the ball out. The rim came down, and just as he let go of the rim, the ball hit the rim on the second one and popped it back up. Whoom! That's like playing tiddlywinks.
I have not quite seen it done that way before. Danny Dukovic.
Well, we promised you we'd see everything this weekend.
Simpson, NBA home run ball didn't fall. Greg loaded that up from outside the hash mark.
Oh, that is a deep 3.
Didn't drop. Drew front iron. 34-17. Greger with power. Uses that glass to muscle it down.
Well,
gotta like him.
Greger's got a good, solid body. You know, his upper legs are good and strong, and once he gets in the middle, he clears people out.
Damon Lyles try to use Scott Mueller. Long range tray. He's going to throw 3 times at the free throw stripe. Got the Scott Mueller foul.
Yeah, Dad, I know.
Well, obviously, you can't keep letting Damon Lyles get wide open looks and rhythm outside that tray line.
Well, that's exactly what I was going to say. You have to put pressure on him. Of course, there's a fine line between foul and a pressure, but Scott Mueller has to stay right up on him and not foul him. The last thing you wanted somebody to do is standing at the line shooting 3 foul shots.
Damon Lyles now will try to hit twice after the front end miss. 34-19.
Lima Senior is not a very good foul shooting team.
We saw that yesterday in the semis. But when they had to be down the stretch, they came up very, very big with both Damon Lyles and Lawndale Thomas having to have actually 4 in succession late in an overtime, and they did it. Damon Lyles now has 22 behind his name on the board here. About 11 and a half minutes into this one. They'll go away. We'll come back to St. John Arena. Lima Senior 36-19 over Lakota on Sports Channel.
You have Sports Channel at your house. If not, contact your local cable company for the best in regional sports coverage.
This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the Ohio High School Athletic Association and Sports Channel. It is intended for the private use of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, retransmission, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, and accounts of this telecast without the prior written consent of the Ohio High School Athletic Association and Sports Channel is strictly prohibited. Luke, I think that means you can't do it.
You can't do it.
Okay.
That's what it says.
Enough said. Greger going to work that window again. Keith Greger now showing you all of his repertoire on that block offensively.
Oh, Mark Regel's doing a nice job of passing it inside to him, getting him set up, getting the ball right in his hands where he wanted it, away from the defensive pressure.
Simpson's big-time triple drew iron but didn't fall. Greg still having a little trouble after he hit 3 straight, one of those being a big slam. Greger again. Went glass a little bit too hard this time, and Damon Lyles will run it down for Lima Senior and will push the floor. Lyle hanging glass, yes. So very sweet. That pretty much says it.
Yeah,
he is just sweet. 38-21. Lyles has 24. Lamont Smith hangs, drew some contact from Terry Simpson, and the Lima Senior foul.
Well, Lamont Smith coming in, nice strong move. Although, look at the defensive pressure, how he gets him turned around a little bit. He doesn't quite get completely squared, and that's the pressure of Lima Senior. Of course, he's going to the line.
Well, we're going to scurry our way to the record books here, Luke, because, you know, I think Damon Lyles may be closing in on something for point productivity in the first half of a state championship game. He's put 24 on the board now. We'll have our crack crew of Sports Channel statisticians on that and get back to you with it. 8.6 boards gets Akron Firestone for Lamont Smith yesterday in here. Hit 1 or 2 from the line. Damon Lyles will save. And Larry Chambers, who has come back, will start the offense in motion. Greg Simpson, Mr. Basketball in the Buckeye State, going to play right here for Randy Ayers and the Buckeyes. Terry Simpson off glass into the hands of Greger. Greg Simpson will steal. Just threw it up. Thought he got fouled. Had contact. Lakota's coming the other way. Evans, strong to the hoop, left it up there way short. Still loose on the floor. They're letting him play. Wriggle. Wide open, Jay. You'll stick it.
Mike, I like the way the referees are doing this game. They are letting them go at it, like you said, and you can have a great basketball game when the officials aren't involved, and these two teams will let us have a good game.
Damon Lyle didn't hit the long-range 3 on Lima Senior's trip. The lead is down to 14. Scott Mueller, baseline. Greger will stick it down to cut the lead down to a dozen.
Mueller, great whip pass along the baseline. Greger just doing a fantastic job of finishing it off.
Keith Greger with 9 in this first half of play. 38-26.
Lakota's right back in it.
Simpson, baseline, slides, it finishes. Greg Simpson.
He is so smooth. You can just tell by watching him walk around the court that he is a tremendous athlete, Mike.
He certainly is that.
And when he starts running, it's even more impressive.
Lamont Smith with 4 red shirts around him, had to force it up on that glass. Greg Simpson will come out of there for the Spartans of Lima Senior. Look out. In the paint. Got a bump on the way in. And the foul will go on either Brad Evans or Mark Riggle. They hit Evans with it.
Here you see it. Look at him crouching down. He's ready to make a move. When he started at the opposite end of the court, you knew that he was going to take it because he got down. He got on that little... Jimmy Clemens used to do that. They call him the Cougar. And he'd get down real low, and he'd start coming up the court, and you knew something great was going to happen.
Jimmy Clemens, certainly an offensive force, played here with, of course, Luke Whitting, the Ohio State Buckeyes. 40-26, Simpson looking for more. Wanted to go down on that block from Michael Brown. A little bit too strong for Michael Brown to catch. Turnover goes back to Lakota. There's Paul Whitney, 3rd year Lima Senior. Got his club in the big show in just 3 years at Lima Senior High. Brad Evans. This is Scott Mueller. Mueller lost it, put it on the deck, got in trouble. Got it back. A reach-in foul's going to go on Michael Brown. Or is it Larry Chambers? They got Chambers.
Chambers reaching over. Nice defensive pressure that time by Greg Simpson. Look at this. Whack. Just enough for Scott Mueller to get himself out of control.
Terry Simpson will check back in for Lima Senior. He will replace Larry Chambers. Larry Chambers will sit down with his 2nd personal foul. And at the stripe will be Scott Mueller, coach's son. 6'3" senior.
Mike, it is so nice and such a great situation to have an extension of yourself as a coach out on that floor as Scott Mueller is.
Although a lot of times along with that, Luke, a little bit added pressure maybe on a young athlete who, has to play for his dad, and there's always going to be talk about that, quite frankly.
Well, there's talk about it, and only in situations where you have a kid that is maybe not of great athletic abilities as somebody else on the team, and that kid is playing ahead of somebody. I don't think that is the case, not even the tiniest thought with that of Scott Mueller.
We're inside a minute left of this first half as Scott Mueller, who had 27 when Lakota visited Lima Senior, hit 2 free throws at the other end. 40-28, lead is a dozen. Greg Simpson put that show and go as he pulled it up and pulled it down. It's like a yo-yo on a string with Simpson in his hands. Lawndale Thomas and Rico Glenn trying to beat that double-team pressure of Lakota out front. Terry Simpson, baseline, Rico Glenn got down the floater from about 5 feet out.
Rico Glenn just kind of cruising the baseline. Found that nobody was guarding him.
First deuce of the night, Rico Glenn. Lakota will hold for the final. They've got 10 seconds to work it right now, down 14. Mueller in trouble. Game clock at 4. Mueller for three. Kicked out of there. Greger will stick it back at the buzzer. Count it to end the first half for Keith Greger. So Keith Greger trying to carry the T-Birds of Westchester Lakota on his back as he takes his ball club out of here. Now just down to dozen. Hey, this one is still anybody's. Westchester Lakota down 12, 42-30. It's halftime here at St. John. We'll get you our halftime proceedings going in the big house at Columbus right after we take this timeout on Sports Channel.
Just a reminder that kids who participate in high school sports tend to go a little farther than those who don't.
North Coast Basketball Camps offers an invitational scouting camp for girls in grades 9 through 12. Players compete in 3 5-on-5 games per day in varsity and junior varsity divisions. The emphasis is on intense competition, and college coaches attend each session. Players also get instruction in advanced offensive techniques and receive a professional evaluation of the camp. Call North Coast Basketball Camps now and be a member of a winning team.
A degree means a better you. At Northwestern College, we make it easy to earn a degree. All you do is pick up the phone and call 227-3141. We'll help you get started taking classes directly related to your field of interest. Days, nights, or weekends. Start working on your degree at Northwestern College. Call 227-3141.
I know St. Rita's does heart catheterization, but can you tell me more about it?
I stepped on a rusty nail. Do I need to come in for a tetanus shot?
Can you tell me the difference between radiation and chemotherapy in cancer treatment?
I've been playing tennis, and I have a sharp pain in my left arm. Should I come into the emergency room?
These are questions answered every day from 7 a.m. to 11 p.m. by the registered nurses at St. Rita's Professionals, a free service provided by St. Rita's Medical Center. When you have health questions, give us a call.
We welcome all of you back to St. John Arena here on the campus of Ohio State University. It is halftime of a very entertaining Division I state championship game. The T-Birds of Lakota and the Spartans of Lima Senior. Michael Regai, pleased all of you are with us on Sports Channel. I want to say hi to not only a very familiar face, but a guy who has done yeoman's duties for this entire high school sports season throughout the state of Ohio. Say hi to Claire Mascaro, the commissioner of the Ohio High School Athletic Association. Right off the top, kudos to you and all of your outstanding staff. Our state out here the last 2 weeks has been tremendous, and you have had 2 terrific tournaments.
Well, Mike, thank you. It's been our pleasure to have Sports Channel a part of this, and I certainly hope your viewers are enjoying it as much as we are. It's exciting.
No question about it. Claire, we are winding up the winter sports season, of course, with the championship games, the state title games here in Columbus. An overview, one of the most exciting and the best in general that you can remember in recent memory?
Yesterday was unbelievable. The games with Lima Senior, the overtime, the double overtime, and the McKinley game, and then the Division IV last night. Unbelievable finish, and you know, as I always say, it's not over until the final tick is on the board and the horn is sounded.
You're so right about that. Claire, though, of course, with the other winter sports around the prep scene in the state of Ohio, we have had many outstanding team performances and individual efforts, and I know you want to relay some of those to our viewers today.
Yes, I would, Mike. I would want your viewers to keep in mind that we have other sports besides basketball. We're very pleased with our boys and girls state swimming, our boys and girls gymnastics, naturally our basketball for the girls and the boys, our ice hockey, and our wrestling. And if I might just add on swimming, we had a young man, senior from Cincinnati St. Xavier High School, Joe Udipole. Joe not only set national high school and state records, but Joe is also an Olympic qualifier. And believe me, we're very proud of that young man, and I would hope your viewers would watch him this summer in the Olympics.
I think everyone will want to keep an eye on Joe Udipole, as you said, an outstanding talent out of the Queen City of Cincinnati. Claire, again, as we talk about winding up another state tournament,
I want to talk a little bit, too, about the response that you get each and every year on the fan side. Of course, it's always tremendous, but this year, once again, with the rivalries being so intense, I think that we have had, fan interest at a premium down here in St. John. Last 2 weekends, the girls' tournament also.
Oh, especially, as we said before, the matchups have just been near, and unfortunately, on some of the games, we've not had the tickets to meet the demand. And as you know from last week, and your viewers, I hope they watched it. We set a state record, almost a national record in that Division I game with over 13,000 for the Pickerington-Logan game.
That game, and of course the one we saw in the semis with Lima Senior and Canton McKinley. I think St. John was rocking as it usually does at tournament time. Claire, once again, thank you very much for everything you've done for all of us. Your staff has been terrific, and we always love coming down here and seeing all of you. You're wonderful people, and thanks from the bottom of our hearts, really.
Well, that's kind, Mike, and the feeling is mutual. We appreciate what you people at Sports Channel are doing for our viewers, because we cannot handle all the crowd, but hopefully they're watching.
You're too kind. Good to see you. We'll see you soon.
Thank you, Mike. Good luck to you.
Thank you. Claire Mascaro, the commissioner of the Ohio High School Athletic Association. Really is a pleasure to be down to see him and his staff. Don't go away. We've got at least 16 more minutes of high school Division I state championship basketball coming up. We'll get you back to St. John Arena on Sports Channel right after we take this time out. Don't go away.
For a sports fan like you, it's a busy time of year. So many games, so many teams, so much to choose from. But the first choice has got to be the home team. The Tribe is back. Catch the Indians on Sports Radio WKNR, AM 1220. Every hit, every pitch, every game.
I'm Jim Jackson. I go out on the Buckeye basketball team. Being a student athlete at Ohio State gives me the opportunity to get a quality education and continue to get high on basketball. There's no place for drugs in my life. I work hard to be the best I can be. Using drugs or abusing alcohol will bring me down, and they'll bring you down too. Give life your best effort. Stay drug-free.
This message brought to you by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and your local cable system.
16 minutes in the books. At least that many more coming up. Second half of activity tipping off in a couple of minutes. Lima Senior behind Damon Lyles. 24 big ones in the first half by 12 over Westchester Lakota. 42-30. Good to have all of you along. Michael Regai along with my partner Luke Whitty. Wow, did Lamont Lyles put on a show for us, Luke, in the first 16 minutes. He was triple hitting from NBA range and further, and of course, that's the thing about Lima Senior. If you think you must stop just Greg Simpson, you're probably going to get burned and burned big.
Well, what Paul Whitney said before the game started, the thing that people have to realize that we are not a one-man show, and they're proving it. Damon Lyles coming in here, he has just been a fantastic talent. His athletic ability is showing up all over the floor. He's not a give-up kind of guy. He's going for the threes. He's working inside. He's a very impressive young man.
Keith Greger has come back big in the second quarter to take this lead back down to the dozen that it stands at right now. Greger working so very tough inside. Very physical presence for Mike Mueller. He's got to like that and hitched his wagon to that in the second half.
Well, Greger is such a strong kid inside. He's got a good upper body. He's got good legs. He can jump well. And when he goes to the hole, he's always going towards it. He never fades away. So he is one of those people that gets in the paint. He mixes it up well, and he's going to be a very key factor in getting Lakota back into this basketball game.
3% is going to win you a lot of basketball games.
Well, Lakota's coming up zipping that three-point land. I tell you, both teams are shooting very well. You can't be upset about those kind of percentages, though. Lyles, 24 big points. Greg Simpson, 8. Chambers with 6 on the inside. Greger needs more points in the paint, 11. Smith with 5, and a couple others with 4.
Underway to start the third quarter. Larry Chambers tried to go to work for Lima Senior. Came up a little bit too hard off that glass. Here comes Lakota. And a hoop here would get him back to 10, and that would be the first time in quite a while. Mueller squeezes the trigger and buries a triple. The lead is down to 9. Here comes Lakota, 42-33. Lyles but then, hey, when you're shooting it and it's going, it's going. That went over the top of the glass, almost hit the college shot clock, and came back down through.
Mike, that went up to the college shot clock and came all the way back down through. That is a big bucket. Great inside play right there.
Tough catch, Keith Greger. He'll finish it with the Michael Brown foul.
As we said just a few minutes ago at halftime, look at this whippet pass by Scott Mueller right inside. Good hands. Greger under control, gets himself up on the glass. Great presence of mind. You know, the instinct that you need to have when you're playing with people around you like that and to know where they are is something you cannot teach a basketball player.
Right.
Greger's got it.
Absolutely. Keith Greger, though, cannot complete the three-point play. The lead is at 10, 45-35, as Greg Simpson will pound it for Lima Senior. Tough three. Little bit off balance. It didn't draw it. 45-35. Senior by 10. Brad Evans. Greger will finish with the two-handed ram.
Again, Lakota saying we've got to go inside. Lima Senior is not very big. They're 6'3", 6'3", 6'1", 6'1", 6'1", and that's about it.
Come on, Lyles rises up, not there. Keith Greger will catch and go to Lamont Smith ahead of the pack. Came up short. And then reached in and committed the foul after the miss.
Mike Mueller is just clutching his hands. Please don't let it be. Long lead pass. If that had been just about a foot and a half, 2 feet shorter, I think it really would have helped Smith out in getting his control underneath him. He had to back up and slow down just a little bit.
The lead is 8. 45-37 as Greg Simpson comes to work. Mr. Basketball, jump stop, hang, back iron and not there. The run out, Smith ahead of the pack. Under control this time for the easy deuce. The lead down to 6.
Smith makes it up.
Lakota is right back in it. Lyles, long tray, yes! Come on, Lyles continues to impress with his range and distance on his three ball.
What a tremendous effort this afternoon.
Lyles has 30 for Lima Senior. Greg Simpson on the steal. Simpson. All the way to the hole. Taken away. He traveled.
Lakota's team saw it. I did not see the travel. Hear him coming left to right, coming across the middle. 1, 2.
That's 3.
You got it. Don't let that go in some leagues. Not here. You got to wait about 4 more years before you can do that.
They will let that go in some leagues. 48-39. Lima Senior's lead is 9. Dan Dedukovic thought about the 3. Damon Lyles came out and challenged it. Excellent backdoor cut. Mueller will go glass and put it home.
Mark Regal, really a great passer. Just fired that ball in there.
Damon Lyles sticks another home run ball. He has 33. Exceptional drawing of the trigger from Devon Lyles. Lawndale Thomas just got hit with a personal.
Yeah, Mike, I was just thinking, if there's people up in this crowd that do not have a program, they'd be surprised who Greg Simpson is or is not.
But we talked about it, though.
Really playing a great game.
Before the contest, there's Devon Lyles, and do not think that Greg Simpson is the only one that triggers this offense at Lima Senior. Damon Lyles, a terrific talent, showing you why today. Scott Mueller got out of control. They power up on that glass. Michael Brown, Scott Mueller, along with Ross Matthews, all had their hands on the basketball.
Lakota's ball, possession arrow.
51-41. Damon Lyles with 33, Lima's 51. Greg Simpson, Mr. Basketball, with 8. Lawndale Thomas is going to solo and lay it down. The lead back up to a dozen. He's a pickpocket. This guy will defensively start everything in motion for Lima Senior. You just saw it. Lawndale Thomas out of their 2-3 zone. Dedukovic for 3. Skying high, Larry Chambers playing with 3 personal fouls for Lima Senior. The lead back to a dozen. Greg Simpson. Excellent shake. Fires it and sticks it I mean, he lost Mark Riggle right now.
And he can do that. He is so quick. He has a great head fake.
55-41, Simpson has 10. A pass from Mark Riggle got away from Ross Matthews. Damon Lyles, does he feel it? Simpson for Greg.
Somebody feels it.
Here comes Greg Simpson. He and Damon Lyles are showing it out right now. Oh, are these two quick draw gun talents that wear the scarlet and gray of Lima Senior?
One of the things that you look at in the first two contests, both of those contests, Greg Simpson was the only one to really doing a job as far as the scoring it. Here you see, look at this. Lyles coming down. He'll go all the way in the corner behind the back pass. Whoop. Here it is.
Now that was in rhythm for Simpson. Now, watch him with his show and go here. Just absolutely,
look at that head fake.
Put Dan Dukovic away.
You talk about making a mistake. He just went the wrong way. Look at the look.
Look at Damon Lyles checking out Simpson.
You got to be kidding me.
Damon Lyles said, hey, baby, I like that. I like that move.
Lyles probably like, hey, that was my move you stole.
The Westchester Lakota came back strong to start this second half. They had cut it down to 6, but right away, Luke, it's back up to 17 because of the double dynamite tandem of Damon Lyles and Greg Simpson. Look at him from triple land.
9 for 17. That is a ton of shots.
Tournament 1 record, tournament Division 1 record. Scary thing about it, there's still 11 minutes left.
You got it.
58-41. Scott Mueller running 3 baseline, needed to finish that and didn't off the window. Lawndale Thomas has got Damon Lyles shaking to the hole. Didn't stay down for him, but he got a whistle and he'll go to the line. You know, I thought I saw the most explosive first step going with Greg Simpson. Lyles is close.
Yeah, look at this. See, he's got the same thing. Little head fake going in. That's what Lyles is looking at. He said, that was my move. I taught you that.
Well, obviously, we haven't seen the best guard tandem in the state of Ohio. I mean, we haven't seen all the top guard tandems in the state of Ohio. But if there's too many better than Greg Simpson and Damon Lyles, I'll be very surprised.
Well, when you have a 1-2 punch like that, that creates just so many problems for a team. You know, Simpson coming in, averaging 35 points a basketball game. Lyles coming in, averaging a little over 16 points a game. That's a lot of potential scoring threat.
Damon Lyles, Luke. Damon Lyles has 34. The lead back up to 18. 59-41. 3:20 left in the third. Michael Regai and Luke Whitty with the court side in St. John in Columbus. This is for a boys' big school state championship. Lawndale Thomas just got hit with a personal foul. On Lawndale, that is his first. That's number 3 on Lima Senior as a ball club.
They got Thomas's second.
Checking in is Rico Glenn coming to get Lawndale Thomas, who will go down on Paul Whitney's bench. Mueller for 3, came up flat. Michael Brown will snatch it and start Greg Simpson the other way. Simpson in the air for 3, right there, right now. Starting to heat it up, Greg Simpson. Has a total of 16.
One other thing he does besides having a great head fake is that he shuffles his feet while he's dribbling the basketball, and it makes him so deceptive of where he's going to go and what he's going to do next. And he has the threat of going both right and left.
Simpson again. Does he want 3? It's in the air. It's off the back iron this time into the hands of Mark Riggle, who just hit the jumper at the other end for Lakota. Riggle's pass about 6 feet too tall for Brad Evans.
Thought he had a 7-footer. Thought Reese Snyder was still there.
Reese Snyder or Luke Whitty was filling the lane. Lead is 19, 62-43 as Lima Senior goes back at it offensively. Simpson way down in the corner now. Greg spotted up for 3, showed it, goes in the paint, clutches it, didn't get down for him. Got his own, goes glass, not there. Larry Chambers got hit with an over-the-back foul. Greg Simpson now 7 for 20 from the floor on the afternoon.
Here he comes up with another shot. getting his own rebound. He was complaining a little bit to the referees. I'm getting jostled around in there. Why don't you watch what's going on? But Greg, you're going to have to expect that.
Yeah, not only does he a lot of times avoid contact, Luke, by the way he seems to slide in midair, he's also pretty strong, too.
Oh,
People
yes.
just kind of bounce off him.
Yes, he is. He's a very strong ball player. Lima Senior playing a 2-3 zone now.
And Simpson down on the baseline in that 2-3. Evans almost shuffled his feet, but had the presence of mind to keep it. Lakota down 19. They were down 6 a moment ago. Riggle, that's for 3. He'll fill it. Mark Riggle sticks that 3 off that foul line right. So Riggle has hit a couple of jumpers, one of them a triple. Lakota's back again to within 16. They won't go away. Greg Simpson, baseline to Terry Simpson. Mr. Basketball had it slapped away from him as he hung in the air. The save baseline is tumbling out of bounds, as you see, when Mark Riggle, but we'll keep it with Lima Senior.
Interesting thing, Greg Simpson threw that ball into Terry Simpson underneath, and he did not move a muscle. He pounded the ball inside. There you see the field goal shooting percentage. You can't get much closer than that, except that's only Lyles and Simpson.
The double dynamic tandem for Paul Whitney's Spartans of Lima Senior, 18 of 37 from the floor. I'll take that, just a beat under 50%, and most of them are triples. Lima Senior's lead is 16. They're going to work their offense a little bit and see what they get out of the set. Rico Glenn kicked it up top. Michael Brown will save. Stolen away. Scott Mueller, he'll run on Damon Lyle. Look at Lyles just pick him and then lost it out of bounds. Was that very sweet defensively? Lyles waited and picked him.
That is a serious pickpocket. I don't think I've ever seen that quick coming from behind. Here you see Scott Mueller. He comes from right, goes all the way over to the left-hand side. Look at that. What a great timing.
Back to live action. Keith Greger again using that muscle of his in the paint to finish it off. Hit tight. Greger was 17 to lead Lakota. They're back to within 14 and not out of reach yet. Simpson just got bodied by Dan Dukovic. That's team foul number 3 on the T-Birds of Lakota. Basketball will stay with Lima Senior.
Good look at Mike Mueller.
I think, too, when Lyles and Simpson aren't hitting their three-point bombs or their long-range jumpers, Luke, between Larry Chambers and Michael Brown, they pound and pound that offensive board and continue a lot of times to keep everything alive for them so they can get up more opportunities offensively.
What's amazing part about this is that they really don't have any size like we talked about. They just work very smart inside the paint. They work very hard. They're after it all the time.
And that block 1-4 offensively.
Yes. 1-4 offense, double tandem. And they're looking, they'll be breaking as soon as they get down to that's just a standard set for a last second shot.
Rico Glenn spun into a double team with Brad Evans and Keith Greger. Mike Mueller a little bit disappointed that he didn't get the clean pick there. He got what he wanted, Glenn spinning into traffic. Lima Senior with the team foul number 4 being rung up on Lakota will play it in their offensive end. 11 seconds left, and Greg Simpson had it ripped away by Scott Mueller, who's working hard on Simpson. Damon Lyles will play it in. Terry Simpson to Greg Simpson. Double down on. Over and back as he put the basketball on that timeline. Greg Simpson just looked over at us and said, "You think so?"
Well, we don't know. It was very close.
7 ticks left. Can Lakota edge this lead down any further than the 14 it stands at now? Evans runs through the paint. Got it. Tough runner for Brad Evans to close out this third quarter.
That's the second time Lakota's done this, coming down to the end of a period.
Simpson to Terry Simpson, who will stick it down off the window.
Well, Greg Simpson just showing that he does have a whole bag full of tools.
Oh, he is just not a lights-out shooter. He'll do most phases of the game for you and do it well. Riggle's going to try to line drive a 3, and Mark will hit it.
Now, Lima Senior's going to have to put pressure on him. He's got a couple, and they can't let that happen for them. Lima Senior's got to keep things under control if they expect to win this basketball game.
Greg Simpson found Terry Simpson, who could not complete it. Evans to the hole, lays it up, lays it down.
Brad Evans, fine job going coast to coast. Averages just under 10 points a basketball game.
The lead is back to 9, 64-55. Damon Lyles, double team. Lyles, pull it, gun it, got it with the sweet roll. Damon Lyles has 36 for the Spartans of Lima Senior. 66-55. The Spartans of Lima's lead is 11. Riggle again for 3. Kicked out of there. Scott Mueller will fade. Hit the side of the glass. Touched last by Lima Senior. Keep it with Lakota. Let's take a look at the numbers through the first 3.
Look at the three-point shooting percentage. 10 for 19 by Lima. Lakota pretty much hanging in there. A lot of turnovers for Lakota, though. Both teams shooting well from the field.
Well, see, there's Luke. There's a 24-point differential right there, just in the three-point line. 10 for 19 for a senior. There's 2 for 8 for Lakota. 66-55. Brad Evans almost had it slapped away. Scott Mueller spreading the floor a little bit. Greger playing out high. Riggle. Excellent ball fake. Mueller's in rhythm for 3 and a stick it. Mueller rhythmed out that triple hit. Lead is back to 8. Down 17. Cut it back to 8. Greg Simpson just threw it away. Excellent save, Michael Brown. And he lost it out of bounds. Turnover. Lima Senior give it back to Lakota.
Don't go away, folks.
Oh, no.
By any means, Lakota back in here, 58-66. And Carl Whitney says, we got to talk this over.
Don't go away. Lakota's climbed back within 8 yet one more time. We'll get you back to St. John at Columbus. Division I state title at hand right after this timeout on Sports Channel.
I feel good. What is self-esteem?
Self-esteem to me is believing in yourself. It's being proud of who you are.
Self-esteem is what you see in the mirror. If you see a bright student, then you can be a bright student.
I feel good.
You've got to have a high self-esteem because if you don't believe in yourself, who's going to believe in you?
Take pride in yourself. Stay in school. It's your best move.
You see Mike Mueller, he's working it. A lot of Xing and Oing going on that Lakota sideline.
You know, Mike Mueller, I don't care what kind of a coach he is, Xing and Oing, but he gets his players hyped up. Every time they have a timeout, his players come back and they play more determined than they ever did coming out of before the timeout. And, you know, that's just a great asset that he has, that he can get his ball players whipped up and ready to play.
Yeah, he's a player's coach, too, as we talked about Mike Moran. Scott Mueller's going to come up a little bit flat in his triple try. Greger will power it. Not there. Damon Lyle's going to run out, and it's slapped away. Evans lost it. Oh, they're letting them play, and playing they are. Simpson across the timeline. Watch him take Lamont Smith. Just lost it. Those glass didn't get it. Stick back down with a foul. Larry Chambers got the bucket. He'll go to the strike.
You know, a lot of times when you have players like this man, Greg Simpson, what happens is everybody starts picking it up, and these players get lost, and you see Larry Chambers coming in there. Good bucket, return, good idea where the ball's going to come off on, and that takes know-how and knowing how the ball's going to angle off on any shot.
Greg Simpson knows how it angled off there, off the miss. Simpson hounded at the triple line. That skip past Chambers and lay it down.
What a beautiful, that was a low hook pass that he went all the way downtown deep to Chambers.
70-58, Lima back up a dozen. Greger, watch him work this low block. Keith will power it through contact. It'll go to the line.
Greger does a nice job down on the paint. He's a little bit frustrated right now. He needs his team to get back in this. Excellent pass inside by Scott Mueller. Watch this. Sees pressure, feels it coming to the right, turns back to the right with the pressure on the left.
So Keith Greger going to the line. He's run up 19 points on the night. to lead the T-Birds of Lakota.
That's what his average is.
Yep, he's right there. Would have been too tough on that first one. He got to split the pair.
82.9% foul shooter.
Well, every time Lakota seems to make a run, get it down underneath 10, maybe to 8, maybe to 6. Here comes Lima Senior to answer. In the last 2 times, it's been Larry Chambers and not Greg Simpson and Damon Lyles putting the ball in the hole.
All kinds of support. Lakota's coming out in a 1-2-2 zone trap.
Longdale Thomas had it ripped. Watch Gregor run the floor and lay it down. I think he wanted to tomahawk it, but thought better of it.
Well, I think he wanted to tomahawk it, but he was about a foot short.
Came up a little bit shy. Smart thing to do is make sure it gets in the hole. Excellent steal. Wriggle to Evans. He'll lay it down with the left hand. Now they're back within 7.
What a great pass. Steal and pass all in one move. Never let the ball touch the floor.
Is it Damon Lyle's time? Lyle's shaking in the paint. Buries out a 10-foot jumper on the run.
Lima Senior is not paying attention to anything Lakota's doing as far as run's concerned.
Damon Lyles has 38 to lead the Spartans of Lima Senior. They're up 9, 72-63, 4:15 left. Scott Mueller to the hole. Yes.
Scott Mueller, good left hand, taking it all the way into the paint. Nobody picked him up. You're not going to pick me up. I'm going.
Simpson with an NBA triple from about 26 feet, and he stuck it right now dead center.
Mike, that's deep.
That's real deep. That was at the hash mark. That's his range and further. Excellent look inside for Brad Evans to Ross Matthews. Matthews laid it down. 75-67. Lyle's in trouble. In trouble. Whistle and a Ross Matthews foul. Mike Mueller says, hey, I need a held ball on the possession arrow there.
Ball loose on the floor. Lakota is playing good pressure defense. That little trap zone is doing a marvelous job of getting them the basketball.
75-67. The lead is 8. Longdale Thomas had it stripped. Evans to the hole. Yes, you could score it with a Longdale Thomas foul.
Thomas wanted it back. When you get the ball stripped from you, the most natural thing to do, here you see Brad Evans really just stripping the ball away, coming down. He looks over his shoulder. He knows where Thomas is. Thomas got his revenge, but it's going to hurt him. 6 points.
This lead could go back to 5. Luke, there have been so many swings in this basketball game. We've seen it go from 19 down to 6, back up to 17, down to 11, back up to 18, and now potentially down to 5 if Evans completes the three-point opportunity. Won't do it. Damon Lyles will sky to get Lima Senior back in an offensive look. That means Mr. Basketball Simpson. Look at the move baseline. Stepped out of bounds.
This court's not big enough for him.
That was a tremendous shake and then go on the baseline.
He went by people like he was a freight train coming in the inside.
This is not being derogatory on the Lakota kids, but he absolutely leaves kids flat-footed.
Oh, there's no question about it. I have seen players that are extremely quick, and when you have somebody that quick, it's not embarrassing to be beaten by them, because he is such a tremendous athlete.
Oh, did Brad Evans want that?
Well, the official just counted the bucket, but that's not true.
It hung on the iron. No, that won't count.
No, because I think Gregor came in and tipped it in.
Gregor tipped it. That whistle came real early. I mean, I've heard of continuations, but that would be something you might not even see in the NBA.
Now here you see Evans coming underneath. Good move. Now the ball bounces on the rim. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep. Gregor tipped it in. See, now watch the official continuation on that goes, boom, 2 points.
But of course, going to the stripe will be Brad Evans. Evans, along with Mark Riggle, has really picked it up. He's in double digits with 10.
Needed that one. Down the stretch, and they got to shoot him. Both teams do.
Lead is 5. Remember now, both members of the Greater Miami Conference are Lakota and Lima Senior. 3rd time they're playing this year. Lakota's won a pair.
Mike, this is the first time that a league has had 2 teams in the finals.
Greg Simpson just got blasted. And then a word or two for Ross Matthews. Keith Greger going to come over and talk to Greg Simpson about it. That's team foul number 7. Watch it here.
Here you see Simpson coming over. Matthews just getting a little bit too aggressive. Like we said at the beginning of the game, these teams know each other very well.
Oh, yeah. Not too much in the way of scouting reports necessary. They see each other quite frequently. Simpson carrying 19 to the line with him. Funny thing about it, young man's got 20 points, 15 under his average right now.
Yeah, how would you like to have 20 points and have a bad night or an off night?
Simpson will look for 21. Ohio's Mr. Basketball for the second time running. Going to play for Randy Ayers right here in St. John. Greg Simpson got the roll his way. Give him 21. The lead is back to 7. We're underneath 3 minutes left in the fourth. But will it be the final quarter as the Division I hardware is on the line here in St. John between two from the Greater Miami Conference? Riggle, baseline, Matthews fades and fills that jumper. Tough look and finish from Ross Matthews.
Lakota is so good at that snap pass where they really don't catch it. It's just they get it in their hands and they snap it right back to another person. Lakota is very good at that.
Lyle's thought about the 3. Now DeMond goes to the hole, hit the bottom of the iron. Ross Matthews will come down with it with 2:17 left, and Lakota can crawl back to possibly within 3 on this trip, maybe 2. They're down 5, 77-72. Hang on. Good finish coming up. Mueller, stolen away. Watch out. Watch Simpson. Got grabbed on the way to the hole, but Paul Whitney wants intentional there.
Mark Riggle really did the only thing he could have done. Watch this. This man is so quick. Look at this steal. Get his right hand in there, tap, 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 getting the ball out in front of him, comes down. The only thing Riggle could do, give me that shirt.
You know, that looks like either a free safety or a strong safety that's coming up on maybe run support in a football game and just basically gone. The ball carrier's by him right now, and he's grabbing it air. Simpson couldn't hit the front end. It curled out of there. Again, Lakota with a chance to do some damage and cut into this 5-point lead. See what kind of offensive set Mike Bueller wants. Greger, low block with muscle. Keith Greger again wouldn't get it up on the rack this time because the whistle gets a Larry Chambers foul before it sent Keith Greger to the stripe for Lakota's T-Birds.
Greger is so good inside. Here you see him going up strong, going after his own rebound. You know, a lot of players have a tendency to float underneath the basket after that first initial shot. Greger comes back in, stops, pulls himself back up, right in time, right underneath the basket for the repeat. There you see Chambers with his 4th personal foul.
So Keith Greger steps to that line with an even 20 on the night and 12 boards to go along with it. It's a normal night at the office for Keith Greger. Terrific-looking young basketball player for that man, Mike Bueller. By the way, the black armband patches on Lakota's uniforms in remembrance of Lakota's girls basketball player, Kristen Reneker, who died tragically in a car accident this season. Greger hit it deuce. It's down to 3 with 1:35 left, 77-74. Lima Senior with it. DeMond Lyle hangs in the paint, threw it away. And Lawndale Thomas just got hit with the over-the-back foul. Well, I'll tell you what, DeMond Lyles hasn't made too many bad decisions tonight. That was one of them.
Well, he came down in the paint. He had a lot of pressure on him. Did not take care of the basketball. That foul by Thomas, we have talked about poor choice of fouls, but if he had not fouled, that was a sure breakaway because Lakota was off and running. That is Thomas's 4th personal foul.
So he and Chambers now have 4 for Lima Senior. Mark Riggle didn't get the front end. Key, crucial, critical. Mark Riggle miss for Lakota. Could have potentially taken it down to 1. It'll stay at a 3, 77-74, and we're going to the free throw line Lima Senior's way.
The long walk.
And so many contests decided at this stripe at every level of basketball when you come down the home stretch.
That was a foul on Dan Dudukovic, reaching in on the rebound. Puts Michael Brown on the line. 6'3" middleman for Lima Senior.
Front end of the 1-and-1, not there for Michael Brown.
We haven't seen a lot of positive things on this foul line this game.
Lakota with a chance again to cut the lead down. Evans got fouled by Damon Lyles. He'll go to the line with again a chance to cut it to 1.
If I was either coach at this point in time, here you see Greger looking inside, whip pass into the middle. If I was either coach, I'd be fouling because they're not making
a senior behind Damon Lyles, 38 and 21 for Mr. Basketball Greg Simpson. 59 of the 77 that the Spartans have put on the board, but they're hanging on for their very lives now, Luke Whitty, as they've let this big lead fritter away down the stretch in the fourth.
Well, Lima Senior has been so productive, but Lakota has just hung in there. They just seem to be knocking at the door time and time again, as you see Lakota bench kneeling down.
That's unity. If it helps, if it coaches that basketball into that ring, if you're wearing white right now, you got to like every moment of it.
There is a little bit of a problem.
The officials trying to determine whether or not this is a 1-and-1 or should it be a 2-shot foul. I think Evans was in the act.
Well, I believe you are right. I believe it's 2.
Yeah, 2 throws coming up for Brad Evans.
Well,
let's check Brad Evans.
Mike Mueller got what he wanted.
Brad Evans on the year from the stripe, a little better than 66%. Got the first. The lead is down to a deuce, 77-75. Will Evans cut it to 1? He does. Down to 1. With still 77 ticks left in this one. Lima Senior by 1 and with the basketball. He's at 2-2-1 pressure. Threw it away again to Greg Simpson. Lima Senior so very, very sloppy with the basketball down the stretch.
Yeah, but Lakota is really playing those passing lanes extremely well. They're anticipating and getting in those lanes.
Lakota could take their first lead of the night here. Evans with Mark Riggle. Clock at 45 seconds left. Riggle to Dukovic for the lead. In and out. Simpson on the run out. He'll pull it back up. In traffic. Off the foot of Riggle in the corner and out of bounds. I don't know why Greg Simpson went down in that corner, about the worst place you can go.
Well, you don't want to get in the corner because that's so easy to trap. You only need one man to trap if you're in the corner. Here you see the ball going out of bounds.
Off Greg Simpson's foot.
Yes, it was. It was off Simpson's foot.
Dan Dukovic just reached in and got hit with a personal foul. That's going to send Greg Simpson to the line, nursing this 1-point Lima Senior lead, 77-76. Well, let's check it. Larry Chambers is going to go to that stripe rather than Greg Simpson. Chambers' numbers from the free throw line, Luke Whitty?
52.3%.
Good man to foul if you're Mike Mueller. You did your homework on the Lakota bench.
Well, I think both of these clubs have done their homework all season long, beating each other twice again.
Let me ask you, are you a little bit surprised, though, that down the stretch, and I agree with you, Lakota has stepped it up defensively, but let's be honest, they've gotten a little bit of help. I think Lima Senior has gotten a little bit sloppy with the basketball at times. Surprised you they've let this big a lead slide down this far down the stretch in the last few minutes?
Well, see, Lima Senior is not the kind of team that you're going to be able to pull back and run a four-corner slow down offense. That's just not their style. Lima Senior wants to be up. They want to be running. And to put the pressure on them or put the squeeze on them to slow down their game, I don't think is really a positive setting. You have to let Lima Senior play the kind of basketball that they're used to playing all season long. When you come into a setting where you have a 21-5 record, that has been proven to be the case, so you might as well live with it if you've lived with it all season long.
Sure. And it's tough for a ball club, as said, Luke, loves to run the floor in transition, loves to push it. Tough for them to go into a game that slows down their anticipated pace.
That's exactly right. You don't let a racehorse pull a cart.
Right? To coin a phrase, right. Larry Chambers at the stripe. He's 0 for 1 from the line. If he hits the front end, he earns another. Chambers buries it. The lead back to a deuce. Larry Chambers on the night has 11. He'll look for 12 and a chance to give the Spartans a lead of 3 again. Did it right there. Ice water running through the veins of Larry Chambers. Hit them both dead center. 79-76. Wisely, Brad Evans gets a timeout.
That 5-second line, or a 5-second count, was lurking right up around the corner. He needed to get that timeout so they did not get a turnover possession and let Lima Senior have the basketball, especially underneath their hoop.
Again, if you're just joining us in this Division I state championship finale, both these ball clubs, members of the Greater Miami Conference, they've met twice this year. Both decisions going to that ball club you're looking at right now. The T-Birds of Lakota won by 5. The first time the two met, won by a half dozen the next time, although Greg Simpson threw in 47 points for Lima Senior in each of the two contests.
Yeah, he was pretty consistent, and I'm sure that Lima Senior was hoping that consistency would pay off. Unfortunately, he has not been as productive, but his counter partner in the backcourt, Damon Lyles, really has put up the ball today. 38 points, Michael.
That's a lot of shooting. Damon Lyles, his team with Greg Simpson, to really go big and strong from three-point land. They've hit 11 of 20, and that's a Division I state record. Lakota's never let it. Was tied at 2, and they've trailed ever since. Evans for 3, got a roll. We're tied at 79. 12 seconds left. Greg Simpson, Mr. Basketball, in the paint, ran it up, no. It's a charge. Offensive foul on Simpson with 5 seconds left.
Simpson cannot believe it. Greger was there. He planted himself in the paint, letting Simpson come. Here you see the shake and bake. Hey, Greger's seen him come down the floor more than once, but he was there. He was there.
All right, we're tied at 79 now. Lakota's got to go 94 feet. They've got 5 4/10. They got time to get Greger on the low block? Probably not. But Brad Evans just hit a monster 3 with a big roll a moment ago to tie it up at 79 apiece.
Mike Mueller looking at the way Lima Senior was playing their defense. If Lima Senior comes out and plays the same type of defense, he's probably saying, let's go with a double back pick and run somebody long, because what's going to happen is we're going to be able to put somebody up and get him a fast break bucket. Here you see the shot going up. It is in there. Had a little bounce. You see Greger. Oh, that was Dudukovic right there for the rebound. Didn't need to be there.
Now that's shooter's touch, baby. Never a doubt.
Shooter's touch.
Never a doubt, said Brad Evans when it left his hand. I'll taste a little bit of iron, but it'll fall for me. To tie it at 79.
Well, both coaches probably changing their strategy as they saw the what teams were going to do. I think Lima Senior's probably going to pull back a little bit. They're not going to put as much pressure low as they were before. Although it looks like I'm wrong.
That's a lot of times things will get changed up. All right, to play it in, Riggle. Greger. Not going to get it up. We're going overtime unless this goes from Simpson. He drew glass. He drew glass. And I'll tell you what, when it left his hand,
he thought he had it. He thought he had it.
He did. He thought it was down. He thought it was down. And that was a little bit deeper than he hit his triple down here yesterday to go to overtime.
He was about 10 feet deeper. He was behind the half-court line, but only...
You'll find a high that lasts a lifetime.
This message brought to you by the Ohio High School Athletic Association and your local cable system.
Michael Rega and Luke Whitty back with you courtside at St. John Arena. 32 minutes were not enough to settle the issue. We're tied at 79, going overtime. Lakota with a chance to fire the first missile here in OT. The man that tied it, Evans, to the hole, couldn't finish it left-handed. Yanking it down, Larry Chambers playing with 4 for Lima Senior. Simpson, baseline. Wanted to dump it inside, had it slapped away by Keith Greger. You think Greg Simpson wasn't potentially on target here? Watch this.
Look at this from the end zone. The ball going high as can be. Look at this. Boom. It was right there.
We come back live and off the steal. The man who tied it up, Brad Evans, who's come up big, lays it down to give Lakota their first lead of the evening, 81-79. How about Brad Evans? Now with 16 for Mike Mueller. Thought they were dead and buried about 4 different times today.
Without a doubt, and they have just scrapped there. A never give up ball club. You have to give Mike Mueller all the credit in the world because he really, really pushes it.
Almost a 3-2 defensively as they slide through this.
Well, they're putting the 3 people outside. Mainly they're going to put 3 people outside because of the dangerous people that they have out there. Greg Simpson, Lyles, those people can fire it up. So Lakota's putting pressure on those people. Unfortunately,
excellent pass, Damon Lyles. You saw Greg Simpson slide baseline. Simpson finished it. He has 23 on the night.
Well, that's where a 3-2 zone, a 2-3 zone would be much, much better than that 3-2.
We're tied at 81, minute 30 left in OT. Scott Mueller, wheels to the glass. Larry Chambers is gone.
That's it.
That's 5 on Larry Chambers. He's done for the night.
That hurts because he's a big power inside, and he has been able to keep Greger on the alert all evening long.
Had a big night. He came up with a dozen, played big in the paint, but pretty much had to challenge Mueller here.
Have to challenge. Great, great tournament for Larry Chambers. 11 points, 9 rebounds versus Canton McKinley yesterday afternoon rather. 12 points this evening.
Terry Simpson will come back in for Lima Senior as Mike Mueller talks with Mark Riggle and Brad Evans by his Lakota T-Bird bench. Scott Mueller, son of the head coach, with 14. Make it 15. Put Lakota back up 1. First lead for Lakota came a moment ago. It took 32 minutes and 30 seconds for him to do it. But Brad Evans gave it to him a moment ago when he stole and soloed. Now they're back up a deuce as Scott Mueller hits a pair from the line. Damon Lyles, Greg Simpson, probably going to have to go to work now.
Okay, Lakota is not in a 3-2. They're in a 1-3-1 trap, and they like playing that.
Sometimes variations of it looks like a 3-2.
Yes, it does.
Simpson, lob baseline, Terry Simpson. That's a tough look.
No bucket, no bucket.
Down off glass, but we had a whistle. So much noise, so electrifying in here. Can't hear the...
no, you can't hear the whistle at all. Here you see the pass inside. Now, obviously, with a 1-3-1, you have one man down in the paint low. That could cause problems. Lima Senior very perceptive of what's going on, and they're looking for those people in the paint, on the blocks, down low.
Terry Simpson. Didn't get the first. Michael Brown had it. Lawndale Thomas will keep it. Damon Lyles almost had it ripped away and drew the reach-in foul from Brad Evans. Evans and Regal are two very, very alert defenders. They will double you down every time you turn your back and spin.
Well, the thing of it is, they're so quick and they're so ready to watch what your next move is going to be, and they anticipate it and go for the steal on the anticipation.
Carrying 38 points with him to the charity stripe, 6-foot junior Damon Lyles. There it is, 51 by Clark Kellogg from Villa Angela St. Joe in 79. Lyles got the first. He can tie it with one more toss. Think Paul Whitney's not working it?
He's working it. He needs a new shirt.
Paul might have lost a couple of LBs this afternoon.
And they're right underneath him on the floor.
Damon Lyles has tied it up. Give him 40 on the night. We're tied at 83. Michael Brown just went over the top of Keith Greger. Damon Lyles trying to tell the officials that he got pushed off on. That's to no avail. Greger will go to the stripe.
Not going to work.
Michael Brown has just racked up personal foul number 4. He's playing with 4, and Damon Lyles, with his 40 points, is playing with 4.
Anytime you're watching a basketball game and you are rooting for one team or the other, you may feel that the officials are going and leaning towards that team that is not yours, especially in your down situation. These officials have done an excellent job this afternoon in letting both Lakota and Lima Senior play basketball.
Absolutely. The way it should be. You said it, Luke. Division I. Got to be that way. Let the big fellas play.
Let them play.
It's a collision sport. Going to be some of that. Lima Senior down 1. Simpson had it stripped away. Evans will come the other way on Damon Lyles. Glass, no. Greg Simpson got fouled by Brad Evans. Tough foul for Evans. Almost had a chance to finish it and put his ball club up 3. Simpson played defense, and I think Luke altered the shot.
Oh, yes, he did. Here you see Brad Evans coming down. See, Evans knew and was anticipating Lyles all the way.
That was Lyles.
He put his elbow, or he put his shoulder down so he would protect himself. I think if Brad Evans had to do all over again, he would say, let's pull it up, let's run something.
I think Mike Mueller wishes that would have went through Brad Evans' mind also.
They're up by 1. There is no need to take the shot.
But I'll tell you what, that young man you see right there stuck a seriously big 3 to get Lakota in this position right now at the end of regulation time. Greg Simpson, Mr. Basketball, to try to tie it. Didn't get it. Kicked out of there. But Lima Senior saved it.
Lima Senior has been so good at getting that.
Simpson for 3. Back iron. The Dukovic almost lost it. He got fouled by Lawndale Thomas. The Dukovic will go to the line with Lakota up 1.
I believe that's Lawndale Thomas's 5th.
It is. Lawndale Thomas will join Larry Chambers on the bench with Paul Whitney. I'll tell you what, Lima Senior's got to feel like there's something about seeing these T-Birds of Lakota. Had big leads in both the previous 2 encounters. Had as much as a 19-point lead this afternoon in this second half.
Now, does this scenario sound familiar?
Yeah, very much so.
We're a 19-point lead in the first half.
Sitting in here yesterday watching Canton McKinley and Lima Senior go to work.
I had a nice encounter this morning with a man from Canton McKinley by the name of Nick Weatherspoon. Many of you will remember. We had a chance to talk. Nick and I hadn't seen each other for about 10, 11 years. And just nice to see him again. We had many contests against each other.
Former Canton McKinley Bulldog and Fighting Illini from the University of Illinois. That was then. This is now with Dan Davukovic at the line.
Nice
Got the front end.
Nice and smooth.
85-83. Davukovic buried the first. He's got 5.
When Lima Senior gets it, who do you think will have the ball?
Well, either Mr. Basketball or Damon Lyles. Good choice, either one of them. They're down 3 now with 22 left.
That is a very good move. Introduce a player, slow the ball down, let yourself get into control, let your defense set itself. Good move by Mike Mueller. I'll get it right.
86-83. We get it right, and Mike Mueller and Paul Whitney are going to talk about it with 22.2 ticks of the clock left. This is, in the first overtime, Division I state championship battle. Lakota was in this situation last year, and you remember a point guard who now plays for Marquette's Warriors by the name of Tony Miller, Luke, that ran the length of the floor and then cashed in twice with the free throw line to get Villa Angela St. Joseph ultimately their first of what now is 2 back-to-back state titles. It happened at Lakota's expense a year ago.
Well, that was a tremendous game. If I remember correctly, we didn't have any voices at all left.
That was the 4th of 4 bigwoods during that Saturday 1 year ago.
You think this is a nail-biter?
The young ladies are into it, aren't they?
Sure are.
13,200 plus also very much into it here at St. John Arena. From three-point land, Lima needs one now, and I'd say when you talk 11 to 21, that they are not of this one by any means. Lyles 8 for 12, Simpson 3 for 9. One of them will unload it. you could count on that. Greg Simpson going to be doubled on. Got the pick in the air for the tie, came up flat. Greger got hacked and a whistle, and Michael Brown is done. Simpson had a great look at it. Just came up real flat.
Everybody knew who was going to have the ball. Everybody knew what was going to happen. And he still got open, Mike. What a tremendous athlete. Michael Brown has fouled out. Came up goose egg on the point department today.
Did a lot of banging inside for Paul Whitney on the glass.
Sure did.
Lakota battled back from 19 down to take now an 86-83 lead. They're trying to put the wraps on it with their main man, Keith Greger, at the stripe, carrying 23 points with him. The lead is 4.
Can't get any calmer than that.
Greger to maybe drive the final nail. Got it. The lead is 5. Damon Lyle pulling up for 3. Sticks it with 4 seconds left.
Don't throw it in.
Timeout.
Don't throw it in. Don't throw it in.
Get a timeout, Lima Senior. They did not. And it is over. 88-86 your final. What a comeback.